everybody's heard, last weekend somebody found out that, since they put Windows 10 and Xbox together, and you can multiplayer games that way, maybe you can do the same thing with the apps. So somebody snuck on a N64 emulator that played Mario 64 and Mario Kart, and people were downloading it for free until Xbox found out about it. Now, it wasn't a perfect emulator. Sometimes it'd be a little bit of glitches and hiccups here and there, but it was working, and boy, Xbox didn't know about it until the Reddit blew up. And of course, they took that shit down. But for the people who got it beforehand, it is still up and running, and now there is a loophole on the Xbox One. So if you can find a way to make an app and put it up on the App Store for the Windows 10, which almost anybody can do, then you have a way around the system. So I wonder what this is going to entail, if more people are going to do it. And usually you would have to hack the actual system to put emulators on it, but this is a big way around that. What do you guys see in the future? Is this going to continue? You think Xbox is going to be able to fix this fast enough?
It's hard. I don't know that they'll actually be able to fix it. Probably not the way that they would want to.
Yeah, especially since it's running through the App Store.
I mean, it's an app. I don't really see any harm in it. I mean, sure, yeah, it's Nintendo on an Xbox. Ooh. Oh, darn. But I still don't see any harm of having like an N64 emulator on your Xbox One. Just to play some old nostalgia games.
I agree completely with you, but you know how Nintendo is. They want that paper, they want that cheddar, they want that cheese, and they will not let any other company run it. So Xbox, boy, fearful of that Nintendo money, got it off there real fast. See, the way they did this was through the App Store, since they did the whole Windows 10, Xbox One connected play, and you buy one game on either platform, you can play it on the other. The thing with that is, the way they did it is it doesn't show up in the Xbox One App Store, but if you type it in the search, the name of it, then it went through the entire app library and would pull it up for you. And that's how they got away with it for a while without nobody finding out. And it's still working for those that got it beforehand. So if you got this, do not delete it. It still works for you, the individual, just nobody else can download it at this point in time.
Yeah, just real quick to chime in. Not only is excuse me, not only is Nintendo going to want Microsoft to shut it down, just for the simple fact that they're not getting money, Microsoft's going to want it shut down too, because it's something that they can't charge $1 for. I mean, you stop and think about it. I mean, all these gaming companies, it's all about the mighty dollar. That's why we've seen video games, start off priced at, $20, then $50. Now we're sitting at this weird, bizarre $60 mark too, But, as far as the fact that, a lot of people feel that emulators are kind of violating the, well, why don't you just pay for stuff type of mindset. So they're all going to be up in arms about that, just for the simple fact that it's like, oh, well, it's not paid for, they're getting it for free, where they feel like it's a piracy issue, and it's also hurting the gaming community, and it's toxic and all this and that. But these are also games that's been out for 20 plus years, so it gets to the point of, like, Monkey Paul said, it's a nostalgia factor. So why should we really hold that against the people that are just truly fans of the game and may not have the means to play said games anymore? I mean, I know I got an old Xbox lying around right now that's been broken and has all kinds of emulators on it right now. I can play, I think it's almost all the Segas, but not Dreamcast, and like all the 64 games except for like 3 or 4. I think my Clay Fighter's fucked up on it. But I think it comes back down to, it's all about the dollar and everything else, and as long as there's that connection to Windows and your Xbox One, we're going to keep seeing things like this happening, and keep seeing them try to do damage control, and it's just not going to matter. It's going to get to the point where they're just going to be like, well, fuck it. If they want it, go ahead.
I'm kind of just, like, indifferent, I guess.
Well, I agree. Like, they're trying to stop it just for the simple fact of the money and copyright issue. And I agree with both of you. It's like, it's a 20-year-old game. Stop trying to rehash old games and make money off of it. Let people just play it for free. But I can understand. Well, the only thing I can understand for Xbox is, yes, it's the copyright issue, so they have to get it off there or they'll be sued. But the floodgates have opened. This is the thing that pushed open the floodgates. Now people that know this...
My bad.
You're fine. Now that people know this, oh boy, they're going to be exploiting the fuck out of this. That means anything they want to put on there, they can put on the Xbox now.
Well, I mean, they should have considered that when they decided to link it up with Windows 10. I mean, you're basically making the Xbox an entire computer within itself with like thousands upon millions of possibilities on the internet. Of course, somebody's going to figure out how to do it. Like, you can't just, I guess, close that off. You have to take that into consideration. Like, people are going to do shit like that.
Definitely, very true. Once they did that whole connectivity thing, it wasn't locked off anymore, and the only way to lock it off is to go back to having those two things separate, and I don't see them doing that.
I mean, to put it in a different mindset, you know, since they've linked it up with Windows 10, oh my god. Sorry. Since they've linked it up with Windows 10,
What was that?
just go with it.
Okay.
Since I've linked it up with Windows 10, if you could, like, on an actual computer, you can put all of that stuff on there. You can put emulators, download apps for all kinds of other shit that's not Windows related that maybe you would only be able to get, say, on a Mac or an iOS system, but somebody has, I guess, I guess you could say unlocked it. They've jailbroke it so that you can put it on a PC. So, I mean, Microsoft has to look at it from that standpoint. You know, you've actually given users the ability to do everything that you would do on a computer or could do, but now do it on an Xbox because you've linked it with Windows 10. Like, you're going to have a really hard time blocking off all those channels that you could go through to put emulators and stuff like that. You know, that's something that their legal department is definitely going to have to start considering, because now that one person has done it, it's going to become a ripple effect, and people are going to just see how many buttons of Microsoft's they can push, basically, at this point.
Yeah, and it's going to come to a breaking point. Either they're going to give up and they're going to try to police it, but there's always going to be something that slips through, or, I mean, the only real extreme that they could actually pull off is closing that connectivity.
But at the same time, like, would that not cause them to, like, lose the connectivity of the Play Anywhere that they're promoting? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't see them doing that. Like, that's the only extreme measure they can do to make sure that these apps don't end up on there. So the only thing that they can possibly do is do policing. Like, have certain individuals or a program that once in a while goes through the network, tries to find those, which is going to be hard to do because you can put any name you want on those apps, and it won't be able to pick it up. So it'll slowly get through there, or shut off the connectivity, which I don't see them doing.
No.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. But no, I don't see them shutting down the connectivity, and they really opened the floodgates when they decided to link it with Windows 10. I mean, honestly, I don't think this is anything. This is just the beginning steps to what, you know, Xbox One or Microsoft is really going to have to experience and deal with now that this little bit has been discovered. You know, like we were saying, tons and tons of stuff is just going to come through the floodgates, and it's just going to get crazy before it gets, you know, sane. So at that same time, it's just like, where does it stop? You know, is it going to be able to let you get uTorrent and, you know, go through Pirate Bay and start downloading just that way cracked versions of games and stuff like that? And, you know, that's another thing I think Xbox might want to start looking into. Is like, you know, now piracy was, you know, generally kind of contained to the computer. I mean, you would have to go through, you know, burning the Blu-ray copies and putting them onto your system, and a lot of systems had the cracked copies where you couldn't play. But now, if you could download it straight to your fucking Xbox, and bada bing bada boom, just open it right on up as an executable, now you have a whole new world of piracy coming.
Actually, yes, very true, and I do know on the Windows 10 app there are uTorrent things that will do the whole torrent thing to get programs and so forth. I didn't think about that, because right now if you go to your Windows app and then go search, you type in the exact name or serial number of those apps on Windows 10, you can probably download those right now, just like they were doing with the simulator. So
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy. I mean, definitely.